How is it going, everybody? My name is Copyright and welcome to my deck rush. This is a new series that I want to implement where I show you decks that I think are really cool with some inclusion of my that maybe you saw the archetype already somewhere, but I made some changes to make it maybe better or maybe just more interesting to play. So in this case, we have the HousParty. HousParty deck is built on a party archetype. The most of you know it in untap.gg. It has a very high win rate, I think over 60%, so this is definitely one of the more competitive sites. And I decided to add the Dollhouse of Horrors. This is basically why it calls HousParty, because this archetype itself is a lot relying on a creature where you play in the right spot in the right time. Who doesn't know what party does? Please feel free to ask me in the comments, I will explain it to you there. For everybody else, I think you know what I mean. And because Dollhouse of Horrors, we have the ability to reanimate our creatures from graveyard, and not only any creature, we can targetly choose what sort of creature we can take out or should take out to just enable some amazing synergies in this party archetype. So let's go fast through what I have as an addition else, what I think is really worth mentioning, and I show you some cool clips regarding it. So Archpriest of Iona, general, just an amazing card, because also if he comes out as a 1/1 constructor from Dollhouse, he still get the ability, so he will constantly get bigger and stronger each time we have more party creatures. But the card I want to talk most about is Concerned Defense, and therefore let's just roll the clip, and I think this will explain for itself why I have 2 copies of it and why I think this card is in this archetype amazing. We see I'm playing against a control deck, and I know that I just dealt with the egg, and I know the opponent is trying to sweep somehow, otherwise he's dead next turn, right? So opponent plays Burn Down the House, and you see maybe I have Investigation token, so I'm going for Concerned Defense, tap my manual taps, and try to draw the card. Luckily, of course, very luckily, in this clip I draw my Concerned Defense, and the opponent needs to pay 4 mana to just deal with it. This is why I got really happy, counter the Burn Down the House. And for my opponent, there is not much else to do, just finish out the game, let's say, or to concede. The next card I want to talk a little bit more about, and also I prepared a small cool clip for it, is the Masked Vandal. Not only he's a shapeshifter, so he plays for party archetype a really big role, give a good addition to any sort of party deck, but he is also amazing to dealing with artifacts and enchantments, and we know in current meta we have a lot of artifacts. Is it a Celestus, or is it a Chariot, or is it just simple treasures? We can still use our creatures to destroy this sort of enchantments or artifacts, or not even destroy and exile them, and this way take over the game over the opponent. For this I have also a small clip for you, let's check it out here. And here we see I play against a mono green aggro deck, and it's pretty common with this deck to play against this, and here we have again the action with Concerned Defense, of course prevent some loss of my creatures, and also big hit against our opponent. I think he was already a little bit annoyed, and now when we draw, of course, our Masked Vandal, we kill the All-Grown Troll, and just to prevent my opponent to ramp, because my opponent played a really slow game, I decided, hey, I want to exile it just to don't give him the mana advantage, and also maybe don't let him to sacrifice it, bring a troll and maybe fight against something to gain back control of the game. This is why I play him here, go for the enchantment, and opponents say no, enough is enough, I'm gone. And of course, now our big hitter, our top card that I had added, that I think will make the changing, or is the game changer in this deck, is the Dollhouse itself. It has amazing synergies with Linvala, but not only with Linvala, of course also with Squad Command, because he enters the battlefield and creates his 1/1 tokens and instantly has haste, so he can be an indestructible bad boy, let's say. And for this I have multiple clips for you. Let's check out what I have to say there. You see maybe I have already 2 Lumina Husparin on the board, but also Concerned Defense, and drew my Dollhouse of Horror. This is why I bring out Linvala, because she has amazing synergy with protecting our creatures, and I want as much protection as I can get against any sort of removal heavy deck. So I distribute my counters evenly, because who knows what my opponent has. I can account with a Midhook Massacre or maybe something like Vanishing Verse. So this is why I thought, okay, my creatures should not get exiled, it's worth it to just sacrifice my Linvala and give them all hexproof so I can still go for damage and the opponent cannot exile my creatures. And keep in mind, I still have my Concerned Defense open. Here, opponent has already Edgar on the board, we have still Concerned Defense, go for 5 damage on the one and 3 damage on the other because he's forced to block only the 5 damage, right, just to receive the 3 damage. So we bring opponent down to 2, opponent transforms Edgar, and I still have my Concerned Defense. So even if he now draws something like Path of Peril, I still can Concerned Defense it, opponent gives a GG, and we go into the next game. Here we are against a zombie, and you see I already survived 1 Midhook Massacre with this deck. I already have my Dollhouse on the board, and I'm going in for damage. Wanna bring as much as possible in because these zombie decks, especially when they have Nucleality on the board, Nucroduality, they can explode really fast. And opponent with a second Midhook, I give him an Ice, of course, and first I thought to sacrifice it to give us maybe some less triggers for opponent, but he has already a Midhook. This is why we're gonna take it as a big boy, get it all in, opponent heals himself for 100, and then we start getting over it. We play Linvala as a protection, bring out, first I thought about bringing Squad Commander, but then I thought no, I wanna bring him later so I can create more tokens, so I go for Archpriest of Iona, and here we have the 1/1 haster that instantly can go in for damage and apply some pressure. Opponent was looking for some solution, or after the second Midhook I was thinking like, okay, this game is done, right? So we go for the trade with Faceless Heaven, Linvala takes it for the team, because I want to prevent as much damage as possible, and here we draw amazing draw with our kicker Tatajuri, and we kick him of course because we need more creatures now, because we need to recover from this board wipe, and I thought, okay, let's take something cheaper, so I can bring it back and maybe apply more pressure through it. Then we go back in, bring of course Linvala back so we can protect if opponent top decks a sweeper. And then we go for 4 damage. And the next turn, opponent draw pretty good. He used a Necroduality for it. So with a Scab, he can have 2 Scabs, but it's already a little bit too late because the Dollhouse is just taking over the game. And it's so difficult to recover. Here we go with Squad Command, boom, instantly party full, instantly all the triggers happen, instantly I can make something flying, make something unable to block, and provide a ton of damage with my indestructible creatures. Opponent had enough. And here it is, my friends. These amazing games we can have just with Dollhouse of Horror, and I think this card shines a lot against removal heavy archetypes, especially against mono black or Halls of Control. I had barely issues, if I had Dollhouse of Horrors on the board, barely issues to win against them, because so much sweepers as they want to have, they cannot even provide, right? Even if they run Midhook Massacres and all this Blood on the Snows, still Dollhouse of Horrors can carry you literally the end game away, and opponent has really difficult time to deal with it. This is why I think this deck is really nice to play and really competitive side. I don't know right now my current win rate, but I can check it out, and if you want to know it, let me know down in the comments. I will write there what my current win rate with it. This is a deck where I usually jump over if I say, okay, the meta is a little bit too annoying to play, so I like to play this party archetype because it's just so satisfying when every single piece comes together. For mana base, you see maybe we have 23 lands, but also one of Glasspool Mimic, because sometimes it's a good card, sometimes not so much. And for the card draw and a little bit of life gain, we have here Spoils of Adventure. You can cast it for just 2 mana, draw 3 cards, gain 3 life. Just a really good addition. Yeah, this is so far for it. If you have any questions or any additions, let me know down in the comments. I will be more than happy to help you. And if you want to see gameplay of this deck, and if enough people request it, I can also make a separate video. As with all other our deck rush videos, you will see it in the thumbnail. On top left there will stand deck rush, so you know exactly what type of deck it is or what type of video. And if you like it, don't forget to subscribe, support my channel, my friend. And on this spot, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Ciao.